Yeah, we're live now.
All right, Lab Code agents. I am super excited. Good to see you all on Real Estate Agent Rockstars. And I'm here with Levi Lascsak out of Dallas, Texas. And I met him, at EXP Con this year, and him and his partner, Travis Plumb, were just doing some amazing, incredible things with video that I thought was just phenomenal. And it's really interesting because we all have this push and we all have this awareness that video is where it's at. But I think a lot of us oftentimes lack the systems and implementation and the execution strategies for them to actually make them real. And what was great is watching this synergy between them being coming from a marketing company into real estate and just crushing it. And so they're in their first year of real estate. They've closed over $40 million of real estate in Dallas, Texas, all 100% through YouTube. So I am super excited to really tell his story, and so that you guys can really glean a little bit about what he did in his market, how you can position yourself. And then also he does support agents with a lot of this training. So you guys will get to learn about what Levi and his team offers agents so that you can also replicate systems as well. So super excited to have you here, Levi. Thank you so much. And I'm going to mute myself because, like I said, I got stuck in the middle of traveling, but I'm here, I'm focused, and excited for you to share.
Great, thank you. Was there a general question?
So yeah, like tell us a little bit about where you came from, what's your background, and how you guys started in YouTube. I've heard you share before, so I know your story.
Right.
Yeah. So what in the world did you do to close over $40 million in real estate your first year? People try to break that ceiling all the time. That's like one of those transitional pivots that people go from $20 million, and breaking $40 million is another performance ceiling that we typically find in real estate. And very few actually will break that in their first year. So tell me your story. What did you do?
Yeah, great. So yeah, thanks for having me, Vanessa. Great to meet you as well, and have the communication lines open there. But yeah, great to see you in EXP Con as well. But so I think there's really two main things that help us get into off to the right start, which was really patience and a plan and coming into it. So I was kind of haunted whenever I was making the transition last year. I had a very successful financial services business I'd been building up for the last year, or 5 years, actually, for the last 5 years. And every single year just got better and better and better. And 2019 was my best year ever. 2020, the first quarter started off my best quarter ever. And so I thought I was going to crush 2019, but we had a lot of contracts with the Dallas public school system. So we worked directly with helping teachers on their retirement planning, and which was a very lucrative contract to have. But whenever the school shut down in April of 2020, basically everything went to zero. And so at that time I was, we spent a lot of time in lockdown, and things didn't look like they were coming back anytime soon. And then I sat there and I watched real estate continue to rise during 2020. And I have a lot of friends that are very successful in real estate. And
really quick, Levi, were you working with schools in the marketing company, or how?
No, so Travis had the marketing company. Yeah, Travis had the digital marketing company, and he helped real estate agents over the past 4 to 5 years. And so, yeah, he ran all kinds of ads with them. So we had not met at this time, actually. So,
and that's the trick. So just for those agents that are listening, this isn't a solo agent who crushed $40 million in real estate his first year. He created a collaborative partnership that empowered them both to build a business, so I want the way that they run their business, who runs the face of the business on screen versus who works with the clients day in, day out, is a little bit of a different model than what we traditionally see in most markets. And they ran with this from the gate. So I just want you guys to kind of understand, because I know a lot of realtors fall into this thing like, okay, I want to do video, I have to do social, I have to do all these things, but I can't do everything all at once because I'm losing my mind, right? So you use a very different strategy than what's commonly seen in the model. So let's share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so moving into over the summer of 2020, that's what I was really concerned about was I heard the old Tom Ferry quote of 87% of agents fail within their first 2 years. And I know that's not because they're not good real estate agents. I know it's not because they're not good people. It's just because they don't have enough leads or lead generation or people to work with initially. I mean, you can't necessarily just rely on the sphere. So, and I knew coming into this and being in the position that I am, which is 42 years old, I was not really looking to start over. And so, I needed a plan, and I knew it would come down to marketing. And so the patience is what I just took the time over the summer to really dig in and thought, okay, if I'm actually going to make the move into licensed real estate, then I need to really understand a good marketing plan and how to do that. And I wanted to attract business. I didn't want to chase people down. I didn't want to kind of go the traditional methods. And I knew social media would be the way to do that, but I also didn't know which platform that would be. And so I started to just take time to research the platforms and try to understand which one was going to be the best fit for me. Now, most of the noise at the time was Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and nothing against those platforms at all whatsoever, because I looked into them. That's the rabbit holes I went down at first, but none of them really set right with me as far as the best plan for myself. YouTube was actually the last strategy that I looked into, or the last platform I looked into, but I started to study YouTube. And whenever I get into something new, I do the same thing, simple formula for success, which is who's at the top, how did they get there? Can I model what they're doing? Can I adjust it to fit my personality? And then can I even possibly do better than them? And then I usually start with books as well. So I found a couple of YouTube books, and that really kicked things off because it helped me understand the fundamentals and principles of the platform. And that's what I believe is really key, is when people understand the platforms from a producing side versus a consumption side, then it changes everything. And so,
and let's talk about that for a second, because what you're saying is when you understand the platform, what exactly are you saying? Because you and I talked about how what I'm most impressed with you is that you really have, and it's people are gifted with this. It's an intuitive, psychological understanding of consumer behavior with the technical knowledge of the platform to then, get them to work together, right? And so what when you say like you had to learn the platform and from the consumer side versus, what are you actually, say that in simpler terms, layman's terms, right? What does that mean?
Sure. Yeah. That means understanding all of the analytics, the back end, how to post, when to post, the science, the data, really. I mean, what it comes down to is the platforms are very strategic, and that's any of them, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, they're very strategic as far as understanding it. But if people, I think this is where people mostly fall short. Most agents or people in general, they post to YouTube, their videos go nowhere, and they wonder why. But there is a method to the madness, which is understanding how to write your titles, how to write the tags, the descriptions, how to geotag thumbnails, how to add location to your videos, everything in the back end that really helps the audience that is out there, because the audience is out there to help them find you quicker. Because if I just made a channel and called it Levi Lascsak Real Estate, it would take forever for people to find me. But when we name the channel about Dallas, Texas, and create everything around Dallas, Texas, people are already searching for Dallas, Texas. So I don't have to try to be the needle in the haystack. I don't have to try to build my personal brand, so to speak, online, because that takes forever and it takes a long time for people to ever find you. And that's why most people don't fail. So when you understand to have your videos out there for the content that people are already searching for, those are the basics and the fundamentals, but not just putting that video out there, but also working the back end of the platform, which is understanding how to write everything on there.
Yeah, I think we might have somebody on that is unmuted.
I got him.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And no, I love that you said that. And because a lot of times people come into real estate and they think, I need to build my brand. There's a lot of ego involved in real estate. And you guys even talked about like when you bring so much value to your channel, you actually have something that you can potentially sell that's not branded with Levi. And it's funny because in my brand in Alaska, I never branded it with my name. I always had Military Home Source because I wanted something that people didn't expect me at the closing table all the time, you know, because I kind of saw that I wanted to create something that was scalable and not something that was so tied to me that I could never walk away from it. Right. And so I love that. And even, you know, and it's so funny because it's so simple. You didn't complicate, it wasn't something, but it really did work. So how do you find that to fit the time to learn a platform in the depth that you did at the same time as you start, like, because sometimes we can get stuck in this, like, prepare and never go anywhere. But then you were able to somehow manage not only learning the platform, producing the content, and then working with the leads. And I mean, I know there was a little bit of lead up between the time that you first started your videos. It wasn't that long though. It was like, you know, you hit, and you guys definitely hit in such a crazy season in this industry from someone that's been here for almost a decade, of like this COVID push where people were like so plugged into the internet. So you totally took, you know, it was just all these cosmic opportunities that really occurred. And, you know, how did you find the time to also produce and execute the content and also sell real estate?
Yeah, great question. So I took about 2 months. Here's what I believe. I believe with books, YouTube, blogs, the internet, everything at your disposal right now, that you can hyper learn any subject within 30 to 60 days. And I'm not saying become an absolute expert at it, but know enough to do some damage. And I think that's the case with any platform. So maybe YouTube is not for you. Maybe you want to learn postcard marketing, but you could buy books on postcard marketing. You could watch YouTube channels. There's a ton of people out there. And if you really focused in for the next 30 to 60 days to learn postcard marketing, you could probably become a pretty badass postcard marketer. But that's what I did. I took about 2 months to really start digging into YouTube. So not just from the platform, I read a couple of books on YouTube. Actually, there's 4 or 5 that I read. I read a couple of.
Can you share which ones? Is that a secret? Can you share which ones?
No. Well, one's called YouTube Secrets.
Well, that's really like incognito.
Yeah, so that's YouTube Secrets. The other is YouTube Formula. Those are really the 2 I would recommend. So not to overwhelm everybody, but YouTube Secrets and YouTube Formula. And
got it.
Yeah. But the cool thing is YouTube Secrets is the best-selling YouTube book out there right now. And that's the one that really kicked it off for me. And they're going to be.
Can you do audiobook on this, or should you read the real one? Should you read the physical copy?
Well, I would do both. Yeah. I mean, they have audiobook on YouTube Secrets. I think they're working on it for YouTube Formula. I think it's great to listen to, but there's also some things in there you want to underline probably and, read along as far as whenever you're working on your channel. So that's, I would buy both. They're inexpensive. So you're talking about $15. It's worth the investment.
Absolutely.
And get the audio as well. So that was it. So yeah, working on that for a couple of months, about 2 months I did. And then I understood based on the research that I did that you didn't want to make the mistake of just producing one video or making one video, publishing on the platform, and then not publishing anything after that. So, have a scheduling schedule or a publishing schedule as far as what are you going to commit to? Are you going to commit to 1, 2, or 3 videos per week? And so for me, I decided to go for 3 because I noticed all the other agents in the market, and I didn't reinvent the wheel necessarily. It was just a matter of they were all doing 1 video per week. So I thought at least to come out and try to get ahead and capture some sort of momentum that I would come out with 3 videos. And then that's about the time whenever I started, I published or recorded I got up really, really early this morning, by the way, but so I published recorded a month's worth of content first and had that ready to go before even publishing the first video, because I understood that consistency is really key as soon as you get started on the platform. So what you don't want to do is just publish 1 or 2 videos and then stop for, 2 or 3 weeks and lose momentum on there. And then did that in the month of November. And then we released the first video last year, December 5th, 2020. So we just passed up our first year anniversary on that. So I was doing content or creating the content for a couple of months there. I had met Travis actually around December, that time frame. We crossed paths through mutual friends and just initial meeting there as well. And he was making that transition. Like I said, he had just got licensed in December on top of that, but he started working some Facebook ads and the notorious Facebook ads, and found out real quick that wasn't it wasn't a lot of fun. And so reached out to me probably January, February, to kind of see what I was doing about YouTube, because we started to gain some momentum at that time. By the time the first deal came in around March, then we started.
Okay, so we're talking December to March to the first deal. So, a good 4 months. But really quick, when you were creating your content, what was the psychology behind what content you wanted to provide? And we talk about, the perishable content, that's like what realtors like to hear, like statistics. And we think whenever realtors do that, I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to a buyer. Like, they don't understand the way that we analyze markets unless we like translate it to them and why that's important to them. Right. So when you look at what you actually created, when you made that month's worth of content, what was your thought process behind it? And what did you create?
Yeah, that's what I found in my research. So here's the thing, is that even though I wasn't a 20-year real estate agent that knew contracts inside and out, what I found through the research, that's not what people are searching for. See, YouTube and Google tell you exactly what people are searching for. And it's not necessarily the escrow process or monthly market reports, because whenever you create a October report video, that's dead by November 1st. It doesn't matter anymore. And so that's what we call seasonal content. So, but the thing is I've been in Dallas for the last 20 years, and that's what people want to know about. They want to know about your stories, your experiences, and what you like to do, even what you don't like to do around Dallas. They want the inside scoop. And so that I had the experience on, because I've been in Dallas for the last 20 years. So I could speak to that. And that's all I've ever said about, because I also understood that's what people are searching for. If somebody's searching for the title process or escrow process or the appraisal process, they're likely already under contract with another agent, right? And so they probably had a problem with their escrow process. So that's why they're researching it at that time. So what we're doing is we're capturing people in the research phase before they've even considered possibly talking to a real estate agent. And because all of our content is value driven and is about helping them learn more and more about every single area, neighborhood, and suburb of Dallas, Texas, then they have no choice but to consume our content over and over and over again. And so we become their real estate agent by default, because they want to work with us because of the value we've already provided up front. Plus there's a relationship there for them on their end. So, instead of meeting somebody at the coffee shop and then pursuing them over the next 6, 12, or 18 months to try to build that relationship with them, people consume our content for 2, 3, or 4 months sometimes, and they build the relationship with us, and then they call us when they're ready. And so we don't chase anybody down. We don't pursue them. They all come to us when they're ready to make that purchase. And so that's what we focus on is Google and YouTube tell you what they're searching for in your city all the time. And so when you make that content, the eyes are already there. The viewer is already there. The client's already there because they're searching for it. But nobody's really searching for, Levi Lascsak's real estate.
And they're not searching for you unless they heard of you. Right.
Exactly.
And so, and that information is in the book. So, right, is in the research that you did. Okay, awesome. So now finished with the story. You're in March, you start to, get your first lead, and then what?
Yeah, well, that's right. That's right. Whenever Travis and I, the stars align for us both, because I'm just at a different point in my life where I really wanted to focus on the creative side, the content side, the client attraction side. And so I was looking for someone to partner up with because I was looking for someone that wanted to do the sales side. Not that I wasn't capable of doing that. I've been in sales for 20 years. Again, I was just at a position where I wanted to pivot and do something different. And so when I met Travis we started to have more discussions, Travis was like, man, I want to sell 100 homes in a year. That's his primary goal. So I thought, all right, well, this is, he's someone who's motivated, and he had just gotten out of his digital marketing agency, watching real estate agents, helping them make a lot more money than he was doing in the marketing agency. So he that transition. And so he started to, he's like, well, let me help the clients. I'll take them out, show them around, and write the content, do all of that. So I thought, okay, and we'll just split everything 50-50. And so that's what it came down to. Now, I think that's what really helps our partnership is the fact that we are completely aligned in our goals, our vision, and where we're headed, but we're complete opposites on strengths. And so he's really good. And Travis right now has been one of the best I've ever seen in negotiating contracts, especially in this market. So his previous sales experience has really allowed us to be very successful in this market where people are having buyer fatigue or losing 2 or 3 deals. We've helped so many clients that have lost 4 or 5 deals with other agents, and then they come to us after that. So that is really the big reason to our success. I've been able to attract the clients and bring them in, but ultimately you got to have somebody that can close the business. And that's where Travis has come in and has been one of the absolute best negotiators I've ever seen. We haven't lost. I mean, we just don't lose deals because he's really that. It's amazing actually to watch him work. But he's really
well, he is tenacious,
Yeah.
definitely tenacious. And it also helps that when you're a brand new agent, you have the tenacity to go and, because a lot of times we have a lot of seasoned agents when it comes to this competitive market that maybe you're a little more callous, they get just as tired. So, it's really awesome. Just the synergy, because I'll tell you, Levi, that doesn't happen. Like what we call is when you have the visionary and the integrator, when you have someone that is really able to play on those strengths. A lot of times real estate agents come into this profession and they're big visionaries or they're super integrators and they can't seem to find the yin to their yang in a partnership, or they really need that operational systems person. And so, when this synergy comes together, it is super unique. So I love for agents to just recognize that this is not something that he did it alone, nor did he try to build his Levi Lascsak brand. He really saw the value of building a collaborative team and using the strengths of people to really execute something that is, that I think is super, super special, because not a lot of agents can say in their first year they closed $40 million. Like, that's ridiculous. And you guys are 45 now, right? Like, it's not even 40. Yeah.
yeah.
That's bananas. That's so fucking bananas. It's cool. Excuse my language. Whoops. Somebody bleep that.
I get excited too.
Well, and then we're both military. So Levi is a military veteran. I'm a military veteran. I just separated in January. And Levi, you are, what was prior, what? Navy?
Army, and Travis is a Navy. So
Yeah. So we're all also veterans. So I think a little bit of that blue collar comes out whenever I talk to other veterans. Sorry. But very, very cool. Let's see what else. So tell me about what are you seeing now? How other agents can use YouTube in a similar way? What you offer agents, your call that you offer. I want to definitely make sure they can plug in with you. I had some people personally message me and ask me for your contact. So I'll be making some personal contacts with you. But let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think if you're a real estate agent and you have at least 1 or more years left in your career, you have to be on YouTube. I mean, it comes to the point to where 84%, according to a recent article, Matt LaMarche, that people will make their buying decisions in 2022 off of video. And so that's where people are going to. They don't want to read the blogs anymore or do all the extensive research. They want to find it on YouTube. I mean, think about anything we look for, how to, or how do I do this, or how do I do that? We're all going to YouTube now. And it's the same way when people are looking to learn more about your city and area. So more and more people are going to shift to video. And if you're a real estate agent that's not doing video, you have to ask yourself, are you doing everything you can to service your client, to provide them the best value? Because especially if you're doing listings, and video is not incorporated in that somehow, that's doing a client that is service. But also to find you, I mean, I don't know. I've been in sales again for a while. And the one thing I always hated about sales was prospecting. But I always did it because I knew it was necessary. But, that's the reason, is that you're usually in pursuit of people and trying to help them understand why they should work with you, which of course I've always believed in what I was working with. So I was never, shy to do that. But it's completely different when people come to you and the relationship is already established and they call us. They've already made the decision to work with you. We don't have to twist arms. We don't have to twist their arm for anything. I mean, they volunteer all the information up front. So from that standpoint, it's truly an attraction-based model. And the great thing is that what I noticed is the creators, at least the real estate space for video, the ones that are really very, very successful are dialed in usually on one platform primarily. And whether that's YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, they're dialed in completely on one platform, and then they branch off or they're present on the other platforms. So usually the other platforms are not as, they don't have the presence as they do on their primary, but still they generate business from that. But ultimately they're going all in on one platform. So I encourage someone, to choose the platform they really want to do business from, the one they relate to the most or the one they're the most comfortable with, and really understand the back end of it, understand it from a producer standpoint. And so now the thing is after a year, I was at the Tom Ferry conference a couple of months ago, 2 months ago. All they talked about was video, video, video. And that was just the overall theme. And every speaker on stage was there because of video. And they were showing graphs and, whenever they didn't implement video, and then after they implemented video into their business, and everyone's businesses are taking off because of video. It's just a great way to communicate. I mean, video is communication at scale, but more importantly, it sells at scale. So you're able to reach so many more people. And the great thing is the clients we attract, they're just like us because like attracts like. So ultimately the ones that are reaching out and want to do business with us are pretty much like us. We have a lot of the same personality traits, beliefs, principles. You can tell that. And so it makes 98% of our clients a lot of fun to work with. We don't really get stuck with random troubled internet leads that,
that you just don't vibe with like at all. Right. Yeah.
Exactly right. That, and you got to establish that rapport. You got to build that up. And then you realize.
Well, and that's what's been so bananas so for those of you, Levi has a call. Levi, we'll post your link. I want to make sure that we post your link and so that people can, it does pitch Levi goes into depth about what he actually did, a lot of the metrics, a lot of the technical stuff on his call. The call with Levi is definitely worth jumping on, because he does share a lot of the strategies that he did. He also offers to assist agents for different price points and levels, depending on how much you guys want to leverage his mentorship. So definitely get on the call. And I don't know if you can post your link in the chat. Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah. And they can just go to the Real Agents, and that's REEL. realagents.com. I'll throw that in the chat. I think that just went to the panelists, so I need to send that to everyone, right? Yep. So that should go to everyone. So it's just the realagents.com. That's just going to play a short video for you. And then, you go from there. If you want to schedule a call to discuss the partnership opportunities we have, we have several different ways that we work with agents. I provide a lot for free too. I mean, if you go to my Instagram, you go to Levi Lascsak. I mean, there's a lot just on Instagram, for free. And then if you go to the Real Agents on YouTube, I have a lot of, trainings on there for free as well. Or into our private Facebook group, but we tend to reserve that for people, but I'll open that up here if you want. So the Real Agents is a private Facebook group as well. So I post a lot of trainings in there sometimes that we don't post anywhere else. We give a lot away for free. And then those that really want to dig in, I mean, the information's out there, but you have to piece it all together. It took me about 6 months to really dive into it. So, what I provide, either through a course or through coaching is basically the 6 months, condensed down to about 6 hours. So if you want to learn everything that took me 6 months in about a day, then that's you want to be interested.
And you're speaking my language, because that's exactly like I was an intelligence officer, right, for that long. And sometimes I would read an entire mission strategy and like all these pages, and I had to break it down to like 10 slides for the commanders, right? And so people sometimes don't value the amount of and not just the research that's required, but the ability to sift through the nonsense and know the difference of what's credible, what's believable, what's going to be effective, what's going to work, and what's going to be a waste of your time. And so clearly you guys have been wildly successful with the research that you gathered, the strategy that you implemented, even the business model that you used. And, I'm super excited for agents to be able to plug into you, to learn from you, and really be able to dominate their markets in that way, because I think we all have this desire to make that much of an impact. And a lot of times it's just, the technical aspect is hard to, it's hard to gain traction on it. So
Right.
what you guys provide is super freaking valuable. And I'm really excited for you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, anything else? What you would say, any advice, etc.?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think going back to what I spoke about earlier, whatever it is you want to, if you're not where you want to be, it's probably because you haven't learned something yet. And if you want to learn something, I believe you can do that within about 30 to 60 days with hyper focus. So, pick your platform. I do believe the social platforms, if you're like me, you're at age 40 or above, you have this love-hate relationship with social media where you're like, okay, all right, I guess I have to do it. I don't really want to, but, I see all the kids are doing it really well and they're successful. So, but the thing is that look at it from a producer standpoint. So pick your platform, go all in on it, and then branch off and you can feed the other ones. That's what I do like about YouTube, is that when you make long form content, that can be broken up into short form content to feed TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It can feed all the other platforms without any additional work on your part if you have a good editor in place. And so that, to me, is a tremendous time saver. And my favorite concept of YouTube is that YouTube doesn't take you time, it makes you time. And not only does it make you time,
Yes.
it compounds your time. So,
that has been something that honestly, when you said that, and it's so silly that it was such a simple aha, but a huge one, because the biggest reason why people don't jump into video is like, it's so time consuming, sorry, I got a call. It's so time consuming, and so we kind of let it die. We let the effort die. We're not committed to the results, and so we just kind of let it fall to the wayside. That's why realtors don't do it. And that's another thing that you implemented that was really interesting, is that you actually got an editor and a videographer right at the jump, right? So when we talk about like startup cost as a brand new agent, right, that you jumped in, you made the investment, you got an editor. I love how you kind of mirror it to a marketing budget. Instead of a marketing budget, it's an editing budget, and I love that. And even the concept of how when you put things out on video, how that really makes your time back, and the results that you show on your call of how many hours have been viewed while lead generating for you when you guys are sleeping. But even more so, that you really kind of looked at this as a strategy to really crush it in real estate in your first year. So what was the startup cost and the investment? Obviously we talked about the time, but the investment that you made financially.
Yeah, well, I shot everything on my iPhone, and I already had the iPhone, so that didn't really cost me anything extra. I bought a $20 tripod / selfie stick and a $100 microphone. Audio is key on your video, so you definitely want to invest in a good microphone, but still $100, well worth it. Sometimes they go to 120, 150, depending on which day it is, but that should get you started. The editing, it just really depends on who you can find. As far as if you were to go to Fiverr and pick out, what I recommend is people try to find three different editors on there, one that's low price, one that's medium price, one that's high priced, and give them all the same instructions in video. And then you'll burn a little money on that, but it's good to see what they come back with. You'll find, of course, the mid-range or the high-range editors are going to provide, better quality and video back to you. And you're probably going to have less time zone barriers or language barriers. Something we opened up video as well. So because our team has the capacity to help others on top of that. So the advantage to that is the fact that they've edited over 300 videos for us. And so there's minimal coaching on your part. They offer a very simple package. And that's what I recommend, is that editing is not the best use of a real estate agent's time. You should be creating content. You should be closing deals. To me, in my opinion, those are the two things you should be focused on. You should have a transaction coordinator. You should have anybody handling anything that is not getting you more deals. And to me, that's content creation. Because again, that is yourself, that is communication at scale. Everything else, if you're lead generating any other way other than video, it's one-to-one. You know, you have to shake a lot of hands and kiss a lot of babies to generate some business. And so if you can just multiply that through video though, and I showed like stats on one video that took me 30 minutes to make, has given me back 3,600 hours, or it's been viewed 3,600 hours, which is equivalent to 150 days. So that 30 minutes that I made one video,
It's nuts.
yeah, has prospected for me 150 days, full days, 24-hour days. I'm not talking 2 hours a day. I'm talking 150 full days, because people consume the content 24/7. Our channel has been almost 60,000 watch hours on it, which is equivalent to almost 7 years. So just in the last year, our channel has prospected for us 7 years. So I don't think,
You know what I love how you break this data down, because that's why, like, it's so it sells itself, right? Like, it's silly that not more agents have yet to really adopt this, because, you know, making a YouTube channel is not like a new thing, right? Like, it's not a new thing. And realtors have known that video, you know, we've seen video marketing classes for decades at every single real estate conference I've ever been to ever. Like, but the crazy thing is also, and Alvin, and you guys will have to jump on his call if you want to see the feedback from the leads. Alvin Tapia asked if you guys get people reaching out, like, I don't, you can grin about the way that people reach out to you, Levi, but you guys have to go to his call if you want to see how agents call him and how agents have really made them the celebrity of it. And they reach out and they're the ones calling them to do business with them. So you guys have to, because they have the recordings of it, even of the phone calls where people call in and say, hey, are you the guy from YouTube? So if you guys really want to see that live and all of that extra data, you guys have to jump on the call with Levi so that you can see it more in depth, because it is really, I mean, that's why he's on this video right now with me here, because I jumped on the call with him. I was able to see what they're doing and how that, you know, and just all of the evidence-based insights that he provides, that he gives you, is just really incredible. And, you know, I've been around a lot of realtors. I've been around a lot of, you know, marketers and just huge teams all over the place. And what I'll say is you know, the thoughtfulness and the psychology that you use to your strategies is a gift. It really is. And so I'm super impressed with you guys. So.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and just to clear up, you guys, what he was talking about his video team, his video team actually has launched the opportunity to do the video editing for you in your business. And what he was referencing is, so instead of going to Fiverr and trying it out, his marketing team actually will provide a service to offer that to you guys, obviously at a cost. It has a certain amount of price points for a certain amount of video content. It's actually very reasonable. I found it to be really, really like the smarter way to go to cut corners instead of having to go to but obviously, if you're already an established agent, you want to go the route that you can put some more capital behind it. If you maybe don't have as much resources or enough capital, you're a newer agent starting, you might want to go to Fiverr and invest your time in finding the right person that matches you. So, but definitely a lot of value there. So that was really great, Levi. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, and it's true. You get what you pay for. So, you know, you can get something on Fiverr for $5, but it's going to be a lot of communication, time zone, and probably a lot of coaching on your behalf to get that done the way you want it done. So, you know, you're paying for the experience, but still, I believe it's the best priced. It's very, I don't want to say the best price, but very, very competitive. And I haven't found anything less than that for, except on Fiverr. But again, you're gonna pay for quality and services.
It's gonna cost you your training time. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean that was it. Yeah, definitely being lab coat agents here. That's the cool thing about it is that I've really dug into the back end of this and understanding, you know, why YouTube is so powerful as well. And it's because people are in research mode. They haven't decided to pick a real estate agent yet. And you'll become their agent by default just because of all the value you provide to them.
Because today, everybody, they almost go to like YouTube and Google. I actually sometimes will go to YouTube before I go to Google to look for anything, you know? So I love that. I love that. And YouTube has such a high rank on Google to get your page promoted. So, that SEO on the back end is really powerful once you make it on YouTube. So,
And I'll give
super
you
cool.
a one more stat, thanks to I've seen my friend Matt LaMarche on here. He asked me one time, I hadn't even broken down this, but how much I make per video whenever you actually break that down compared to GCI out of all the videos. And so I did break that down, and it's $8,300. So if somebody's not motivated to make a video, then think about it that way. So even if sometimes if
this is going to pay me $8,300 if I just sit through this pain.
I mean, that's a good real estate commission right there. I mean, to go out there and do that, but that's the amount of business. And now we didn't have last December. Here's the other thing, Vanessa, last December, we didn't have any momentum. And now we're getting 2 to 3 times the amount of calls because people are already prepping for March, April, and May move time. And we know that is the peak time, spring and summer. And now, because we didn't have a presence established last year on YouTube. So now that we do, more and more people are finding us, and we're growing faster and faster right now as well. Because of
that's so bananas.
So and this 45.
Okay, hold on. What's your YouTube channel? Why don't you mention that? We didn't even say that. What's your YouTube channel?
Well, that's why, because I want people to just search. They can search.
They can find it yourself.
Well, that's part of the strategy. I've never shared the direct link, never shared it with anybody, never posted it, cross promoted it on any platform, because the YouTube algorithm is so powerful. We want it to find our audience. And so if people are searching and it's continually found based on people searching on YouTube, then we'll continually show up. If I share that direct link, have you ever noticed if somebody shares a direct link with you on YouTube and you click on it from your phone, at the top, it'll say sign in to your app. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Well, the reason being is because if you jump over from somebody texts you the link, or you pull it off of a social media platform, or you're scrolling on Facebook and you click over, it doesn't sign you in. So you see what I mean? Technically, YouTube can't read that data. So people could watch your videos. They could watch 2 or 3 and never be signed in. They could also watch it for 2 to 3 seconds and jump off, because I think it's very difficult to convert people from one platform to another. Usually when people go to a platform, they're on that platform to consume that platform. So it's very difficult to convert a TikTok consumer to YouTube when they're in the middle of consuming TikTok. It's the same reason why we don't put any social media links on our YouTube channel, because we've worked so hard.
You don't want to take them to your Instagram for what?
Why? I mean, we are
just so that you can get another follower.
Exactly. Right. I could care less about the vanity metrics.
And what's so funny? I love what you say that. It's so funny, because that's what Tristan said when I was showing him you guys. He was like, it's crazy that they've done so much that you guys barely broke 7,000 followers, barely, right? Yep. And so even though the follower count is not there, it's that the vanity metrics. Do you want to see the $1 million I racked up in GCI? I really don't care about the vanity metrics or how many followers I have. So it's just I'm just really stoked for you. For you guys,
that's still pretty good. According to YouTube, the average creator that even makes it to 1,000 subscribers takes them almost 2 years to do it. It takes 22 months. So most people quit before that. And the ones that actually stick it out on average on YouTube, it takes them 22 months. So even from a vanity, I mean, you've seen a lot of real estate agent channels out there. There's not a lot of them with a lot of subscribers on YouTube, right? So it's really very few. So still, even though 7,000 may not be big in YouTube world, it's pretty significant in the real estate space. But at the same time, to grow that in a year is pretty good. So, but still, yeah. But that's actually, we're going to be featured in YouTube Secrets in the new revision coming out in January.
What?
Yeah.
I think I heard you say that. That is insane.
Yeah, but they're featuring us because we broke the $1 million with less than 5,000 subscribers. So they wanted to prove that if you promote a product or service, that you don't have to have 100,000 or 1 million subscribers on YouTube to generate $1 million. And every story in those books are always people that broke 100,000 or 200 or 500 or 1 million subscribers, right? Or it took them 3, 5, or 8 years to get there. Here we are in 1 year, doing what we're doing. And so, yes, we'll have a part in that book. Yeah.
That is so awesome. I'm so proud of you. The only thing I regret is not meeting you sooner.
I wish I would have started my channel 5 years ago.
No, that is so freaking cool. Well, I wish you guys much success. Everybody that's on here and all of our LCA community, that's, that watches on the live and not just on the webinar, definitely go to The Real Agents, REEL. That's it, right? The realagents.com. I'm so excited for you guys. And you know what's funny? I'm going to throw a military joke at you. But I'm surprised that you were in the Army. That's why I thought you were in the Navy. I'm teasing, but
we know that's far superior than the other branches. Right?
I'm like, what did you do in the Army again? Why are you so smart? I love my sister services. Just kidding. What did you do in the military, by the way?
I was infantry.
Right, but for the record, okay, I was the intel rescue person that was at every mission planning table. So I'm not knocking them. They're absolutely intelligent people. So
you probably made all the plans to rescue the infantry when we got.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So no, that's awesome. Well, Can
I answer one question I saw in the chat before we go?
Which one? Oh yeah, I didn't see anymore. Besides the one, did people call you?
Oh yeah, they call. Okay, that's what. Yeah, you answered that. But
yeah, and I want them to go to your call so that they can listen to the recordings and all of the stuff that you show about how clients reach out to you. I mean, when I saw it, I was literally screen recording and sending it to Tristan. Like, what am I watching right now? It was insane. It was so crazy. So I really want people to really experience that with you, that you do your calls. You do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? Like those are your days?
Yep.
Okay. Are you doing this week through the holiday? Well, if they go
Not
to the
this
link,
week.
they can find
We're traveling this week. So I'll be back.
You're welcome, Bill.
Yeah. Be back next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, everybody have a great holiday. I'll be bringing you guys the next Real Estate Rockstar in the new year. We're going to take a couple weeks off, and I think my next lineup one is going to be pretty cool as well. Levi, thank you for adding so much value to the real estate community, and I'm excited for you guys to freaking blow it up. And we will see you soon. We have to hang out sometime because I didn't get to actually meet you at EXP Con. So
let's go. I'm ready.
All right. Bye guys.